So this Reddit thread is titled Misogyny So Normalized, Men Don't Even Recognize It. And to that, I push back a little bit because I believe they know what they're doing. They just don't care. But let's get into this thread. Last night, I was hanging out with a couple of guys, took a study break, and came back to see them watching a YouTube called Home Math. And when I asked why they were watching misogynistic videos, I got the response that it didn't seem misogynistic and how I can't judge because I hadn't finished watching any of the videos. I was gobsmacked between the Encelosaurus terminology, double standard dating advice for genders, the videos dedicated to making fun of delusional females. It was blatantly obvious and dangerous. That's the reason why I said they understand, they just don't care. No man begins perpetuating misogyny with the intention of hating women. It starts with prioritizing these warped media narratives over the accounts of real women. One type of often overlooked misogyny is this male tendency to debate women on topics they are ignorant about. I did debate tournaments. I don't have a problem with debate, but it's so annoying and belittling when my male friends think their opinion is of equal value to mine when they don't even know basic terms or context. They will argue you down. That's the reason why I do not argue with these people, these least educated people, because they will form opinions when they don't have actual knowledge, and it's annoying. Okay, she continues. One time I mentioned mansplaining, and I don't see why it's a problem when men explain things as a response. Like, that's not what mansplaining is. I've repeatedly asked the same friends to stop using the term red pilled because of its connotations as a sexist dog whistle. And he always responds with how it's a Matrix reference. And there's nothing wrong with the movie. Like, I didn't already know that. I tried to explain that the bad boy trope isn't proof that all women love dark triad traits in partners, just as the popularity of the femme fatale in fiction doesn't mean all men crave domination, only to be told I'm using obscure vocabulary. I could go on and on about these microaggressions. For the most part, my friends are receptive to criticism. That's the reason why you do not call everybody friends. But it's exhausting to have to deconstruct their attitudes for them in order to defend myself. That's the reason why you stop doing this emotional labor. If these people don't want to learn anything and don't want to do the work, stop explaining it to them. They don't care. And then being told that it's my personal responsibility to educate them when there are feminist resources one could seek out instead of Tatus and Celosaurus BS is reflective of the expectation of women to perform emotional labor for men who can't be bothered to do it for themselves. So stop doing it for them. Stop doing, if you are a Black woman, stop doing the labor of, just stop doing labor for these people who refuse to see what folks go through. Let's get into the comments because you learn a lot in the comments. This person says, it's not legitimate curiosity. They're sea lioning you. The sea lioner feigns ignorance and politeness while making relentless demands for answers and evidence while often ignoring or sidestepping any evidence the target already presented under the guise of just trying to have a debate. So that when the target is eventually provoked into an angry response, the sea lioner can act as the aggrieved party and the target presented as closed-minded and unreasonable. It has been described as an incessant bad faith invitations to engage in debate. Sea lioning can be performed by an individual or by a group acting in concert. There is no winning a debate against a sea lion. There is no giving information to a sea lion. They do not want it. And if anybody is curious where the term sea lion came from, it came from this cartoon. Okay, let's just do this cartoon. I don't mind most marine mammals, but sea lions, I could do without sea lions. And then the next person says, don't say that out loud. And then here comes a sea lion. Pardon me, I couldn't help but overhear. And the man says, now you've done it. The sea lion says, I would like to have a civil conversation about your statement. Would you mind showing me any evidence of any negative thing a sea lion has ever done to you? And then the woman says, go away. And the sea lion says, There's no need to raise your voice. I'm right here. I'm just curious if you have any sources to back up your opinions. And the woman is now in bed and she says, "You're in my house." And the sea lion says, "You made a statement in public for all to hear. Are you unable to defend the statements you make or simply unwilling to have a reasoned discussion?" Now the man said, "Told you, dude. Sea lions." And then the sea lion says, "I have been unfailingly polite, and you two have been nothing but rude." The woman says, "I'm trying to eat breakfast." And the sea lion continues with, "Very well, we shall resume in an hour." So that is where the term sea lioning came from. Okay, back to the comments. The friend I keep butting heads with, and this is the OP. The friend I keep butting heads with over misogyny, I have literally called him out for sea lioning before and sent him the rational wiki link about it. I chalk it up to an annoying character trait because it's something he does with all sorts of topics and when talking to men too. So like I said, don't call everybody a friend because some friends have some sense of listening and hearing your side and understanding your perspective. Not all people do. Don't call everybody your friend. So this person says, "He's not your friend." And the next woman says, "I'm 60-ish. We call that stuff shit disturbing." I don't know what that is, but that's what the 60-year-old says. The next person says, "My grandpa would have called it fiddle farting around." So some of these comments are just kind of silly. The next person says, "I vote for fiddle farting." The next person says, "I'm late 20s. Always called it an argument of attrition." Absolutely. Some of these people win debates by wearing you down. This one, "I think women give men way too much credit. A debate is only useful against someone who is at minimum intelligent enough to comprehend the point you're trying to make. So many men are straight up stupid, like it's an Olympic event, not worth the breath you'd waste on them." The next person says, "That could definitely be a personality trait. My brother is like that with everyone. I don't even call what he does mansplaining. I call it insert his name, splaining, because it's not only aimed at women. I encountered a guy online recently who was totally sea lining everyone in a thread, and interesting enough, it happens to be the exact personality type as my brother." I think I'm going to end that there. Lots of good comments, but basically the same point. These people know, and stop acting like they don't. They just want you to keep talking and exhaust yourself, and they will win. Y'all jump in the comments and let me know what you think. Sometimes movies can jumpstart conversations, just like books, just like celebrity gossip. When you are speaking to other people, it helps to see their mindset when talking about these things, just like the discussions when we read books in literature in school. So keep that in mind. This woman, she is on the 2X chromosomes in a Reddit thread. She says, "He's a man." My friends explain on why a guy in a movie didn't wash up before he hunched. So I was watching an action movie with a group of friends, and the male and female characters are resting after fighting and escaping danger. There was a lead up to an intimate scene, and the woman goes to clean up beforehand. Nothing much happened, but since we were making quips about the movie, I joked about how he was still covered in a few days worth of sweat and blood, not all of it his own, and she had at least changed. The three guys whipped their heads towards me and yelled out, "He's a man." What does that have to do with not washing his privates? Or is he going to melt? And one asked, "No, not into that." Is it his first assumption that women usually are? I guess some people are into that, but I doubt it's a majority. What is it about? What is it about that? I'm sorry, what is that about? Is it just me? I know it's just a movie. I just didn't expect that response. Now, I will tell y'all, I see some hunching scenes and when I'm watching movies and series on TV, and I'm like, that is just not feasible. That type of stuff doesn't happen. So I critique that kind of stuff as well. But many times these are male writers, and many times the ideas come from them. So this is how they sometimes see these things. So that is the reason why, yes, we can have these conversations because we are examining the male mind. Okay, so I guess the comments started coming in. She said, "Edit, no, they didn't seem like they were joking. Also, I had a professor who swore women couldn't resist his natural stench while closing all the windows in a tiny room when parts of our assignments were smelling things. Yeah. Edit number 2. To people posting that it's just a movie and not real life. No stuff. There's over 400 comments here to guide you as to what's actually being discussed. It's really not that hard. And that goes back to why I said in the beginning that sometimes that these discussions just start to like help to see the mindset of other people. Okay, so let's get into some of the comments. People say that the comments are, where the good stuff is. So this next person says, he's a man. Yeah, a man whose unwashed hands and peen can give vaginas a variety of infections. So remember that. Okay, I've always thought I am at fault for getting infections after being intimate with my ex-boyfriend. But now with my current boyfriend, I don't have these medical problems at all. Maybe there is a correlation after all. Yes, cleanliness and hygiene are so important. This person says, oh, there is, as far as being a correlation. Guys can be asymptomatic to a lot of things. So even if their female partner get a treatment for an infection, it's just waiting to get back on board if the male partner doesn't also get diagnosed and treated. Also, just normal not being clean hands, peens, that can result in the vagina host reacting and getting an infection. So this is the reason why I say sometimes movies and TV shows can jumpstart very important conversation. The next commenter says most men don't even wash their hands after using the bathroom or when they get home. And then this next person says, still thinking about those guys who think washing their crack is gay. Like, bro, what? This person says, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not dating. I say that every day I'm in Reddit. The next person says, ha, same. The next person, so how do you wipe, my guy? Those people are truly weird. F, I'm so grateful for bagging a man who never fails to shower daily and washes his butt. It is really crazy that you have to be thankful for a person that takes a shower. That is where that's where we are right now, just bottom, like basement. This is like Satan's pantry level. Okay, the next commenter. Or even wiping properly. Honestly, if they're not going to wash their hands, maybe it's safer for everybody if they don't touch their butts ever. I don't know if that's it. This person says, I think I broke my husband when I kept asking him why he didn't wash his hands and take off his shoes when we came back into the house. He always was like, why would I? I didn't touch anything gross and didn't walk in mud or anything. And I had to sit down and explain germs and chemicals to him. Like, sure, that looks clean, but there are bacteria and viruses. And sure, you didn't step in mud, but you walked through countless chemicals and carcinogens, and you just want our cats to lay in that stuff. Now he washes his hands every time he comes back inside, and he has a pair of indoor shoes to wear as the reason he keeps his shoes on is because they help his feet feel more stable. Some people just don't think about all the stuff they can't see. There we go. You have to explain to some people like they are children. The next person says, yes, there's a common misconception that sperm gives you UTIs, but it's actually dirty, unwashed, filthy peens.